My name is Michael Dana. In 2008, I was diagnosed with a rare brain cancer, and after 6 years, I was cancer free. But the ordeal left me changed, with a different outlook on life and a new sense of priorities. While still recovering, I earned a degree in economics from UNC Chapel Hill. My studies taught me to analyze data and open my mind to see things differently. I also started formal training in the martial arts to better defend myself and use it as a means of extreme physical therapy. Since then, I've obtained black belts in 3 martial arts. I own and run a martial arts school and have logged over 51 teaching hours. To my friends and family, I'm a simple business owner. But to the martial arts world, I'm something else. I am Sifu Mike, and this is Dragon Theory. Alright, so I'm talking a little bit about self-defense, which is the other main reason why people take martial arts, okay? Not just fitness, but to defend themselves. The problem here, though, is that most people don't understand what is self-defense, and sometimes the martial arts schools they go to also don't understand self-defense and the difference between what they're doing and what is sport and what you want to do and where you're at. So I'm going to be deep diving a little bit into all of that. Now remember, I have a detailed version of self-defense and the techniques. If you're in martial arts, you want to know more about your techniques and how to determine what is more self-defense oriented and what is more sport oriented, go to thedragonmethod.com. Okay, that's thedragonmethod.com. Alright, now back to self-defense. Most people know self-defense, and it is more commonly referred to in the legal sense. All right, it's a legal term that describes a person's actions when in an assault situation. Right, they acted in self-defense. They did this in self-defense. So that is how we associate. It's very much for one single person of a human being assaulting another human being and their actions relating to that particular act. Okay, describing what they did and why they did it. Okay, it's a like I said, legal term. Alright, and so a lot of martial arts schools are really good in that. They'll teach you how to punch, kick, do whatever, choke people, break them in that particular situation. They also teach a lot of stuff that is very good in sport, and sometimes they don't quite understand which is which, because honestly, the human body can only move in so many different ways. You're going to have a lot of the same stuff, just by different names or used in a different context. Okay, there's actually a lot of self-defense techniques that are taught in baseball. Okay, that's a sport, but it has physical movements that translate very well into self-defense. And nobody seems to make that connection. So, but it's there. Okay, most of the time, if you do something physical actions and movements in the human body can be applied to something else. You just have to modify them a little bit differently. Okay, so you have your self-defense, but the topic of this video is not just self-defense, but self-protection, because honestly I think that is what we should gravitate more. Self-protection is more all-encompassing, alright, because any good martial artist will tell you that you train 10,000 hours for the 10-second fight you hope never happens. Okay, we learn to punch and kick and stuff, but we hope to never actually have to use it in a real-world situation. Okay, that is just bad by all the stretch and means that you can think of. Okay, we don't want to use it. Now, self-protection is different. It's actually preventing the act from ever happening in the first place, and it's identifying more of what is a threat to you than just another physical human. Okay, so that is what I think more schools should be focusing on, because that is actually the greater threat to you and your physical being. If you're trying to protect yourself throughout the course of your entire life, then you need to identify all the different threats that are out there. Okay, so what you have is gravity. Okay, that's going to be the biggest thing, right? You have more people per year get seriously injured and pass away and die from falling down from gravity than from crime, from physical assaults or anything like that, right? You can look this up. CDC has that statistics right there. More people every year pass away and get injured from falling down. And they actually talk about and suggest that you do things like Tai Chi right? And the body control and the balance that you will learn in Tai Chi. Well, guess what, man? Those techniques are in every martial art. It's just some martial arts put more of a focus on that aspect than other martial arts, okay? I think all martial arts should have a huge focus on that because that's the functional thing that's going to carry with you and you're going to use regardless of situation, okay? Because when you talk about just self-defense, you can theoretically go your entire life without ever having to get in a physical assault situation, right? It's kind of the sense, an extreme sense. You think if you want to go deep sea fishing, right, you don't go to the Sahara Desert, right? No ocean, okay? Not going to do any deep sea fishing in the Sahara Desert, that kind of deal. So if you're in certain locations, you may not ever have to use martial arts. So you want to use it for some of the other things that you're going to happen. They don't give a statistic for whether or not you're going to fall. You're going to fall. Odds are you've already fallen. I know I have. I do it all the time. Thing is, they do give a statistic for when you're going to get injured, which I think is like 1 in 4, right? They don't have that for different places as far as self-defense. You go to some place that might be really high. It might be like Kaji Kempo. When it was created, you were pretty much guaranteed to get in a fight every single day. So that's why they made this mixed martial art and pulled in all these different techniques, because you can't accurately defend yourself against something if you don't know what that something is, right? And so they would always get different things because maybe this person didn't know that, so that's going to work the best on them because they didn't know about it, right? So they wanted to get as much as they could. That's kind of why certain mixed martial arts actually exist. Because if I knew what I can do in every situation, I knew everything that you can do in every situation, then winning is a result. All right, that's actually Art of War, 5th century, man. That's old school. Know your enemy, know yourself. Winning is a result. Anyways, back to self-protection. Okay, so I want to learn about how to fall correctly and mitigate that, not hit my head, right? Because that can happen when I'm really young or really old, anytime within my life, right? Anywhere I'm at. It doesn't matter what context I'm in, gravity is always going to be my greatest enemy, right? So I'm going to be focusing on that because that's the most practical in the realm of self-protection. Now, another aspect of self-protection is actually going to be more the legal system and where you're at and what is appropriate and what is the appropriate response for whatever physical assault happens to you. Because in all honesty, man, if somebody grabs you and you like deck them and then stab them, you're going to jail, man. That's not the right response for that kind of thing. Some martial arts, even though they're really good for what they do, they're not good for the place that you're at because they just train to do one thing. They just train for one specific thing, and like I said, could be really good, but may not necessarily be really good for where you're at. Okay, all things work, just not all things work everywhere, if that makes sense. Alright, so you need to know where to go and what is legal and what is the appropriate amount of force, because most places, the level of force that you do, as far as your technique is concerned, is determined by the result. So you might think, hey, this is one thing, but the other person that you hit or whatever might have like brittle bones, and all of a sudden you've used lethal force against that other person and you're in the wrong. All right, so you need to know these kind of things to not just protect yourself physically and self-defense standpoint, but protect yourself from the legal system as to what is correct and what is appropriate to do. These are all things that your instructor should know, and they should tell you that. Okay, so if you go to a school, ask them about what they do and how they do it and how it is going to help you. All right, so like I said, if you go to the dragonmethod.com, I do a deep dive into this and how you can kind of best define some of those techniques that you have in case you don't know and you have your techniques. Now, if you're fresh off the boat, never done any martial arts, you know what to look for when you go to various schools as far as, hey, is this going to help me out? Now, there's another thing that should be a huge focus in a lot of martial arts as far as the self-protection, and that's just the physical wellness of doing martial arts, being active, right? Because you got to think, one of the number one, actually I think the number one cause of death in the US is heart disease, right? And so the easiest way to combat any kind of heart disease is be physically fit. Just get some cardio in there, man. And so that is built in to martial arts, okay? They've been using martial arts as a form of fitness for hundreds of years before there's ever a fitness industry. All right, so you can get two bangs for your buck kind of deal, where you can get fit and you can learn to hit somebody in the face. All right, and then hopefully never have to actually have to hit them in the face. Right, so two things, two birds, killing them with one stone, but not necessarily killing them. Want to be non-lethal, maybe put them away. I don't know. Not my best metaphor, but you kind of get the idea. So you have your self-defense, awesome. I want self-protection be all-encompassing, okay? Not just people, but gravity, legal system, health and disease, physical well-being, everything. So self-defense, self-protection, that's what you want, because that's what you deserve. You deserve the best. All right, and again, you can check out my website, thedragonmethod.com, to see more detailed videos about this and how to set up curriculum for not just youth, but for adults. Okay? All right, hope you learned some.